Hey guys, so Cardmaster Phoenix here, bringing you guys another Cardfight Vanguard area deck profile. The series where we take all the archetypes in Cardfight Vanguard history, sort them alphabetically, and deck profile them. This time, we'll be deck profiling my personal build on Brawler / Big Bang Knuckle. Well, technically the deck is centered around Big Bang Knuckle, the Legion, the old and new Legions, but it's also got Brawler elements in there, so we'll be skipping over Brawlers when we eventually get to that point. Alright, let's just go ahead and hop in. Two quick little things before I get into this. One, I am sorry that I didn't think to post the deck profile at the end of the last fight on the last video. That was simply just due to time and whatnot, and I just really had to go. Time constraints, stuff like that. I had to meet my dentist. Um, yeah, so I apologize for not posting as well. Turns out it's kind of hard to talk when you have your wisdom teeth pulled out. Mine was, for those who are curious, I had to had mine pulled out at such a young age because my wisdom teeth, specifically the bottom right and the bottom left, was kind of angled like a domino, pushing into the rest of the teeth, which would have grown into it. And because of what my dentist calls a super erupt, the other ones, since they're not being them not being on the direct opposite end of them, they would have kind of basically grown out a little into like a fang or like a vampire tooth. And then so I was like, oh, vampire tooth, cool. Fang, cool. Because Fang's my favorite character from the Maximum Ride book series. Because yes, um I'm a bookworm in 2018. Carrying on. And it's like, oh, cool. And he's like, and we're gonna have to remove the rest of them, and that could cut into your gums. I'm like, oh, not cool. And he's like, yes, so let's get that done. I apologize if I sound slurred or if I sound if I sound a little like dumb or like kind of loopy or whatever. It might still be the effects. For what you guys, in case you guys are curious, I'm recovering pretty well. I was out for like, let me see, I think I was out for 3 hours after the dentist. I just fell asleep and I didn't wake up till basically now. It's like what? I don't know what time it is, honestly. um, but anyway, let's just go ahead and hop into this. So yeah, the new series format for Cardfight Vanguard Adventures will be like as follows. So basically, it's just gonna be like this. Whenever I am doing a Cardfight Vanguard area adventures video, I'll do the fight first. That way I save time on finding a match and then finding an opponent who doesn't just insta leave or whatever. And then I'll find a decent matchup. And then from there, I'm going to record the fight. And after the fight, that way you guys can watch the fight and judge if you want to see the deck profile after. That way you can just go ahead and hop into it and just follow the video. And after the fight will be the deck profile. That way you guys can decide whether or not you like the way the deck plays. And you can go from there. Just something to help you guys out. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so anyway, moving on to deck. Starting off, our starter is Brawler fighting Draco Kid. I prefer this over the other starters because it works with the Legion and a certain grade 2 unit, which we'll get into in a little bit later. But its effect is the Forerunner, so it's pretty cool. Because, you know, there are certain units that don't even have a Forerunner skill. Pioneer, Forerunner, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's good. It's got that. You do want to move this to the right or left back row. You don't want to move it to the middle because that way you don't mess up your timing of Brawler Igo for when he boosts the Vanguard. But anyway, it also has a skill of activate on the Vanguard circle. Put this unit into your soul, which is your Vanguard. Until end of turn, that unit gets auto on the Vanguard circle. Count plus 1. During your turn, when your opponent's Vanguard is in the front row, is put into the drop zone. If this unit is in Legion, you may pay the cost, and if you do, choose up to one of your opponent's rearguards in the same column as that unit retired. So basically, whenever you retire a unit in the front row with the grade 2, we'll get into a bit later, off a card effect, you can retire the unit behind it if there is any. Otherwise, you just don't get to use the effects. But other than that, that's basically it, and it's a really cool starter, and he just looks kind of cute. So moving on, we're running 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. We have 4 copies of Brawler Street Fight Dragon. So this is the Brawler archetype specific critical trigger, and its effect states this. Activate on the Vanguard circle, put this card on top of your deck. If you have a Vanguard or Brawler in its card name, choose up to one of your other rearguards or Brawler in its card name, and until in the turn that unit gets auto on the rearguard circle, when your Vanguard's attack hits, this unit gains plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn and shuffle your deck. So that does multiple things. That reshuffles your deck, which recycles your triggers. It also allows you to give your units a power bonus, so something like as weak as an 8k unit can hit. But most importantly, it adds a huge power bonus with this card, Brawler Big Bang / Buster, because when you Vanguard Big Bang Knuckle, which is the only 2 Vanguards you're going to really have, excluding the G-Zone, and its card name attacks hits, 3k power, plus 3k power from Brawler Street Dragon. So that's going to be a total of 15 on its own, and when it attacks a Big Bang Knuckle, it's going to be 17. So that's an instant 10k guard, without considering if it's boosted. Because that would be another 5 to 10k. Normally 10k. But anyway, this, just for you guys' information, is what we're using to go so well with Brawler, with the Brawler starter. So it's Brawler Yojin, or I believe it's Yojin, it's pronounced Yojin. Anyway, auto on the rearguard circle. When your Vanguard performs Legion, choose up 20 opponent's rearguards in the front row and retire it. So, while we're on the topic of Legion, I feel it's getting a little bit of a revival now in terms of usefulness, because whenever you're going into your Xerath Dragons, you can actually use this card to kind of discard. You have to discard a card that's got the same name as a unit on your Vanguard circle, but it doesn't specify which one. So if you're in Legion, it can be either of the two, the grade 2 or the grade 3. The Legion mate or the Legion unit. So that's pretty cool, because that doubles your options for discard fodder in order to ultimate stride, which is really cool. Not to mention that this works so well at the starter, because as soon as you perform Legion, you retire one in the front row, and then of course, since your Vanguard's in Legion and a unit in the front row is retired, you can retire the one in the back row, which gets rid of a whole column. So that Legion just combos off really well with our starter. Anyway, moving on, we also have 4 more critical triggers, which is Brawler of the Heavens, Yozen. This is just because I kind of like the artwork, and honestly, it's the only good looking 5k, just base Brawler specific trigger. So, that I like. So anyway, moving on, we have 4 copies of Brawler Dokusan. Or Dokusan, however you prefer to pronounce that person, I prefer Dokusan. But anyway, this is just your generic draw trigger with 5k power, no effects, because it just has the ability to allow you to draw during your opponent's turn, which is amazing. And we do want to see it kind of often, because it's the best trigger to see on your opponent's turn, or honestly kind of just regardless of whose turn it is. And honestly, I just prefer that artwork over this one. And whatnot, and I prefer this one to this one. But anyway, also, it just looks a little cute. Not the dragon itself, but the kind of little baby dragons here, and that one's got the little, like, slanted eyes or whatever. I don't know, I just think it's kind of cute. Finally, we're running, for our heal trigger, we're running 4 copies of Brawler Green Gem Carbuncle, just because, again, it's got the Brawler name, and it looks kind of cute. I mean, look at it, it's a cute little furry. But anyway, moving on. That's it for our grade 0 starting trigger lineup. 2 lines to grade 1s. We have quite a lot of them. We have 14 grade 1s. We have 2 copies of Brawler Dropkick Wyvern. This is one of my texts for the personal text for the deck. It's got the skill of Auto Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed in the rearguard circle, you may pay the cost, and if you do choose one of your other units, and that unit gains plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. Which is nice, because that extensively can make this a 10k booster if you put it in the column that is behind, that this unit is behind. So that's pretty sweet. And it also doesn't have to be Brawler specific, either if you have a Vanguard or the unit itself doesn't have to be Brawler specific, so that's good and well. I was considering this, but I ended up deciding against it, so no more wild code for us. But it's okay. Moving on, we also have 2 copies of Brawler Igo. So, auto in the rearguard circle, when this unit boosts your area unit named Brawler, Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. In the same column as this unit, the boosted unit gets plus 4,000 power until the end of the turn. Until the end of the battle. So basically, that just makes this card a 10k booster if you have the exact card that that it says you need behind it, which is pretty nice. So anyway, that kind of compensates for the not striding as much when you have the when you have a 10k booster behind your Vanguard as opposed to a 5. But anyway, move on. You also are running 2 copies of Red River Dragoon, just because 8k bases are amazing. And 4 copies of Mighty Bolt Dragoon, because Stride. And 4 copies of Eradicate Vanguard Gould, because Perfect Guard. Move on, that's it for grade 1 lineup. Well, now move on to the grade 2 lineup. We have a total of 12. So you have 2 copies of Brawler Yojin. I already explained what this card does and how it combos off with the rest of the deck, so we'll just move on to 2 copies of our Thunderstorm Dragoon because 10k bases, and 4 copies of each of the Legion mates. Brawler Big Bang / Dragon, which is the 12k attack when your Vanguard with Brawler its name attack hits, and the Brawler Big Bang / Buster, which is basically just an improvement on it, because it's got that effect plus a better one, so that's really cool. Anyway, moving on, that's the grade 2 lineup. Moving on to the grade 3s, we have 7. We have 4 copies of Brawler, Big Bang, Knuckle, Dragon. Normally I go by the amount of cards I'm running, but this time, we'll just do it this way because this is actually a Crossfire Legion unit. And it's just making more sense to get this one out the way first. So, activate on the Vanguard Circle Legion for 20,000 power with Brawler, Big Bang / Dragon. Which of course would be, let me find it, this one right here. This guy, and this guy goes with this one. Anyway, it is kind of important to know your Legion pairs with this deck. So, moving on. It just goes on to explain how to perform Legion. It's just a great way of recycling triggers, so it's very good. And of course, those would be our ideal targets. So, activate on the Vanguard Circle, kind of last 2 Brawler in its name cards. And if this unit is in Legion, until end of turn, this unit gains plus 5,000 power and continues on the Vanguard Circle. This unit battles every unit in your opponent's front row in a single attack, which is really, really strong. Now, something interesting as far as rulings go, if your opponent drops a perfect guard, which they actually might, it's okay, because yes, the Vanguard's attack on the opponent's Vanguard will be nullified, but that doesn't work for the rest of the rear guards, because it only says that unit, not all your units cannot be hit. I know there is one card that protects units from being retired, even if it is hit, or even if it would be retired, but I don't remember the name of it, or what clan it's from, or whatever. But point is, it doesn't really matter, because taking out half your opponent's field is amazing. So, anyway. There's that. It also has this All Vanguard Soul Blast 1 skill, where when this unit attacks Vanguard, you may pay the cost, and if you do this unit gains plus 3,000 power until the end of the battle. Now, it does not have 20,000k base, it's only when it attacks, but being able to get it up to, like, what, 34, 38,000 is very, very nice. Not including triggers, of course. So, moving on, we have 3 copies of its evolved form, Brawler, Big Bang, Knuckle, Buster, which is a 20,000 Legion with Brawler, Big Bang / Buster, which is this one, the newer one. And again, it just goes on to explain what Legion is and how you perform it and whatnot. So, activate on the Vanguard Circle, kind of last one, and choose one card with Big Bang Knuckle and its card name from your hand and put it into your soul. If this unit is in Legion, until end of turn, this unit gains plus 5,000 power and continuous on the Vanguard Circle. When choosing a unit for this unit's attack, choose 4 of your opponent's units, and this unit battles every chosen unit in 1 attack, which is amazing. Now, at first it was just half the field. Now it's pretty much the entire field. Well, it's not the entire field. At first it was like half the field because the front row, and that's the front and back row except for the starter. And the Vanguard, or whatever 4 units you choose to attack. But it gets even better. And also it continues on the Vanguard Circle with a card named Brawler Big Bang Knuckle Dragon, which is its precursor unit, this one. In your soul, it gains a continuous plus 2,000 power at all times. So ideally, you're gonna put the precursor unit, this one of course, into your soul with his skill. That way he's 13, well technically 23 at the time of attacking, and well now he'd be 28, 34, and again, technically since he's got Big Bang Knuckle Dragon, uh, is it just Big Bang Knuckle? Is it Big Bang Knuckle Dragon or Big Bang Knuckle Duster? Buster. Or Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. Okay, so it doesn't work. Brawler Igo's effect doesn't work here. With this one. Only this one, but oh well. Because it's still 20, 23, 28, 34,000 power when attacking the Vanguard, which is very, very nice. And of course, on top of that, it's got the cross ride skill, so it's gonna be pretty hard to hit you during your turn, which is very nice. As well. And that's it for the main deck and great lineup, as well as the entire main deck. So moving on to the extra deck. We have one copy of the GB8 Conquering Supreme Dragon Closure Dragon. This is just, as the name implies, to close out the game, so auto on the Vanguard Circle, Generation Break 8. This unit is placed in the Vanguard Circle, retire all rear guards of all fighters, and bind no cards in your opponent's shop, send face up. This unit gains continuous in the Vanguard Circle, all your units gain plus 2,000 power for each card in all fighters' bind zones until end of turn. That's very nice. This goes very well with the Thunderstrike kind of keyword deck. So if you're running that, definitely put in a copy or two of this. Moving on, we also have two copies of True Eradicator Finished Blow Dragon. So activate in the Vanguard Circle once your turn, Generation Break 2. Counterblast 1, choose a face down card from your G-Zone and turn it face up. Until end of turn, this unit gets unarmed in the Vanguard Circle. When your opponent's rear guard is put into the drop zone due to an effect from one of your cards, this unit gains plus 5,000 power and plus 1 critical until the end of turn. If you have a heart card, Gauntlet Buster, in its card name, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it, which is very nice. It's basically just an evolved Gauntlet Buster, or I guess a stride for Gauntlet Buster. There isn't really an ideal first stride here. I guess just go with Big Bang Knuckle Turbo or whatever you want to go with. But anyway, moving on, we also have 4 copies of Supreme Conquering Dragon Conquest Dragon. First off is a stride text, which again I'm not going to bother with. And activate on the Vanguard Circle once a turn. Choose a face down card named Supreme Conquering Dragon Conquest Dragon. This card from your G Zone and turn it face up. If the number of face up cards in your G Zone is 2 or more, choose one of your rear guards, opponent's rear guards in the front row, retire it, and until end of turn, all units in your front row gain plus 5,000 power for each open rear guard in your opponent's front row, which is pretty nice. Not the best, but I just didn't want to throw in some of the V stride units like V Buster, V Max, stuff like that, Kaiser Warning, Voltage, just because I personally feel it'd be appropriate, seeing as how we don't really run Vanquisher or Vermilion card or anything like that, so there's that. Anyway, moving on to our second and final stride unit. Well, our final stride unit, not our final junior unit, though. We have 4 copies of True Brawler, Big Bang Knuckle Turbo. Holy crap, this card's insane. So first off is stride text, which we're not going to bother with. Activate on the Vanguard Circle once a turn. Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, and choose a face-down card from your G-Zone, any card, not this card specifically, even though I highly recommend you do choose this card, and turn it face up. If you have a heart card Brawler, Big Bang Knuckle, or just Big Bang Knuckle, and its card name. Until end of turn, this unit gets continuous on the Vanguard Circle. When this unit would choose a unit to attack, choose up to 3 of your opponent's units for each of your heart cards instead, and this unit battles all of the chosen units in one attack. This unit will then also gain 5,000 power for each face-up copy of this card in your generation zone, which is amazing. So of course, when you're striding on Legion active, both of the Legion cards, the Legion mate and the Legion unit, both are considered a heart card, meaning you have 6. So you can choose up to 6 units, which is literally the entire field. The 5 rear guards plus the Vanguard being the 6th unit, or the first, or however you choose to think of it. So just brawling out and destroying your opponent's entire field is amazing because there's no way they're gonna they might guard the Vanguard attack, they probably will, but there's no way they're gonna guard for each individual unit, and that's just absolutely insane. I love this card so much. Anyway, that's it for the main stride units. Moving on to the ultimate stride unit, we of course have one copy of Xerath Juggernaut Inferno Jochma. This card's pretty simple. First off, it's ultimate stride text, which I've read before, but I'll go ahead and read it again. Release when the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 3 or more. When it returns to your G-Zone, exclude your entire G-Zone, remove them from play. In Stride Check, choose a card with the same name as a card on your Vanguard circle and discard it. Strike this card on your Vanguard from face down. An auto on the Vanguard circle, counterblast 2. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, you may pay the cost. You retire all your opponent's units, bind them face up, and your opponent chooses 3 cards from his or her hand, and discards 2 from among them, and then rides the final card on Vanguard as stand. The Vanguard is retired as well. He or she rides a card from his soul, and if there are no cards in the hand, he or she loses the game if it is not possible to do anything. So, I know I might get a bit of flack for this, but I really believe that Drachma is the weakest of the Xerath dragons. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. Purely because the odds of you going into this aren't very likely in this deck, because honestly, you'll probably lose, but hey, there are some chances of you possibly winning before you get to this. But anyway, that's it for the G units. Moving on, the stride units, ultimate stride units, and G units. Moving on to the G Guardians, we have 4 copies of Sky Guardian, Supreme Dragon, MP Dragon. I didn't choose this really for its effect. I just chose this because the community seems to think it's one of the best G guards, especially for the clan that we've gotten. And I also just think it fits because Yellow Jim Car 1 goes yellow, and so does this guy. Anyway, Auto Generation Break 1. Choose a face down G Guardian from your G Zone and turn it face up. When this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, you may pay the cost, and if you do, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards, retires it, blinds it face up. If the number of rear guards your opponent has is 2 or more than yours, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. So it's pretty nice. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me, the deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been your host, I'm S. Phoenix, signing out. See you guys next time. Have a good one.